Bon Secours Mother and Baby Home, 1925 to 1961. For over 3 decades, the Bon Secours Sisters, a Catholic religious order, ran the Tuam Mother and Baby Home. This institution, like others across Ireland, was created to house unmarried pregnant women and their children. These women, shamed by society and disowned by family, were placed in the care of the church to repent for their pregnancies. While inside, they gave birth under the care of nuns and remained in servitude, washing, cooking, cleaning without pay. Their babies were either kept in the institution, died from poor conditions, or were forcibly adopted, often to families in the U.S., sometimes without the mother's full consent or knowledge. The records and the whistleblower. The truth may have remained buried if not for Catherine Corliss, a local amateur historian and researcher. In the early 2010s, Corliss began investigating what had happened to the children born at the Tuam home. What she found was disturbing. 796 death certificates for children linked to the home between 1925 and 1961. Yet no burial records existed for these children. The official cemetery had no graves matching most of the names. This raised a horrifying question. Where were the children? The discovery of the septic tank. Locals had long shared a whispered story. In 1975, 2 boys had accidentally broken open a slab while playing near the former home. Inside was what they believed to be a septic tank, filled with tiny bones. They told adults, but the event was dismissed and forgotten. Decades later, Corliss made the connection. In 2014, she went public with her findings. The 796 children, some stillborn, some just days old, others toddlers, were likely buried in a decommissioned underground sewage tank, with no coffins, no ceremony, no names. This revelation sent shockwaves through Ireland and around the world. Official investigations and DNA analysis. After public outrage, the Irish government launched a commission of investigation into mother and baby homes. In 2016 to 2017, test excavations were carried out at the Tuam site. The results confirmed the worst. A 20-chamber underground structure, part of an old sewage system, held the remains of children, aged from 35 fetal weeks to 2 to 3 years. Many remains were commingled and deteriorated, buried without markers. While initial reports called it a septic tank, forensic experts later clarified it was more of a chambered burial structure, likely converted from an old sewage system. The use of the term dumped was controversial, but the undeniable fact was that the children were buried in undignified, secretive conditions, far from any known cemetery. Stories of the mothers and survivors. Many mothers were never told what happened to their babies. Others were informed that their child had died, but never saw a grave. Some later discovered their children had been adopted abroad without their consent. Survivors of the home have spoken about poor food and hygiene, cruelty by some nuns, lack of medical care, forced separations, and lifelong trauma. Families like that of Annette McKay, whose sister was among the 796, have long called for identification and dignified burial of the remains. The government and church responses. The Irish state and the Catholic Church have faced intense criticism. In 2017, then Taoiseach and Kenny called the site a chamber of horrors. In 2021, the Bon Secours Sisters issued an apology. A €800 million redress scheme was set up for survivors of all mother and baby homes. Formal apologies were issued by multiple Irish leaders, acknowledging systemic abuse, state complicity, and failure to protect women and children. The 2025 forensic excavation. In June 2025, the Irish government began a major excavation of the Tuam site, led by Daniel McSweeney, a former International Red Cross envoy. The plan: carefully exhume all remains over 2 years, use DNA technology to match remains to living relatives, offer dignified reburials, provide closure to families who have waited decades. The media controversy. While many reports describe the babies as being dumped in a septic tank, Catherine Corliss herself never used those exact words. She clarified, "I never said they were dumped. It was a structure built into the ground. A crypt-like chamber repurposed to hold bodies." Still, the lack of documentation, secrecy, and conditions of the burial made the story no less tragic. A national reckoning. The Tuam scandal has become a powerful symbol of Ireland's dark history, the intersection of church power, state neglect, and social shame. Thousands of other children died in similar institutions across Ireland. Survivors continue to campaign for truth, recognition, and memorials. The government has pledged that Tuam will not be forgotten. It will become both a memorial and a warning to future generations. In conclusion, the 796 babies of Tuam represent not just the tragedy of one home, but of an entire era of institutional abuse and silence. Their tiny bodies, hidden for so long, are now at the center of a national effort to seek justice, healing, and dignity. They were forgotten once. They will not be forgotten again. If you enjoyed this documentary, always tune in to the Timeless documentary for real-life stories. We post new videos every week.